Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This one's wife, Meghan, was in the UK. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. We've been hearing about this one's wife's trip to Paris. It's also been the case that she has not been in the United Kingdom for some 3 years, last seen when she had an extended stay as a consequence of the death of Queen Elizabeth II and the subsequent funeral. There has been the repeated hokey-cokey about whether she would come to the UK. She was in transit on one occasion, though she didn't leave the airport. I've explained hitherto that the reason that this one's wife will not set foot in the United Kingdom outside of going through the airport is simply as a consequence that her narcissism perceives there are too many threats to her need for control. It recognizes that she is deeply unpopular. It also recognizes that there are aspects of the media that are against her, and naturally, she would also have to deal with teed off members of the royal family were she to visit. All of this combines to create various threats to control that her narcissism as a self-defense mechanism is designed to protect her against. Thus, she hasn't visited in those 3 years, and despite the attempts of Harry to talk up a return to the United Kingdom, either permanently or more often, it certainly doesn't seem to wash with this one's wife. Well, that is, until now, because it would appear that this one's wife has been in the United Kingdom. How so? Debbie White, reporting for The Times, tells us the Duke of Sussex's staff body-blocked an alleged stalker who got within feet of the Prince Harry on 2 occasions during his recent trip to the UK. The woman's approaches were made while Prince Harry was attending the annual Well-Child Awards in London on September the 8th, and 2 days later, during a visit to Imperial College London, where he saw work being carried out at the Royal British Legion Centre for Blast Injury Studies, according to the Daily Telegraph. During the first alleged incident, the woman entered a secure zone at the Royal Lancaster Hotel in central London when the Duke, who has been patron of Well-Child for 17 years, attended the 20th anniversary Well-Child Awards. Security sources told the newspaper that she was seen again, also within feet of the prince, while he was visiting the Centre for Blast Injury Studies, the laboratories of which he opened in 2013. A member of Harry's private staff recognised the woman and body-blocked her from getting too close. The employee recognised the woman because her name is on a list of fixated individuals compiled by a private intelligence firm and handed to Harry's personal protection team. It is alleged that the woman has followed the Duke to other countries, including Nigeria, which he visited last year. Scotland Yard declined to comment on the 2 alleged incidents, saying that it did not discuss security arrangements. The Times has contacted the Metropolitan Police for comment. Well, who could it be other than this one's wife in stalker mode as she attempts to get near her husband? It has to be this one's wife, surely. It wouldn't be a surprise, of course, because narcissists do engage in stalking. Not all stalkers are narcissists, and not every narcissist will engage in stalking. Nevertheless, much of the stalking behaviour that occurs is conducted by narcissists. If you'd like to understand more about the relationship between narcissism and stalking, I'd invite you to watch my video, What is Stalking? It's a comprehensive examination of the phenomena and its relationship with narcissism. Now, evidently, this wasn't this one's wife, but of course, it is the type of thing that this one's wife would engage in, because after all, as a narcissist and having a need for control, lacking boundary recognition, operating in an entitled fashion, and it's been suggested that in the past she was effectively stalking Harry, for instance, where she turned up and gate-crashed the Skippy wedding. It is the behaviour that she would engage in, and it's rather tongue-in-cheek to remark that it was her turning up when he was in Britain, perhaps there to keep an eye on old Fantapubes to make sure he was behaving himself. But on a serious note, the disclosure that there was a female stalker who got within feet of Prince Harry on a couple of occasions, and that this person makes the list as a fixated individual, is interesting. Naturally, a prominent person such as Harry will attract unwanted attention from certain individuals who have developed a fixation, often as a consequence of some form of mental illness. But what's also interesting about this is that we just happen to know that it had happened. We just happen to know that there's a list of fixated persons. We also happen to learn that one of them apparently attempted to approach Harry. It's a little bit similar to when he was in court, if you recall, and that lady started shouting at him and tried to get near to him. And many people thought, that seems like a plant. Could it be that this woman was a plant? We won't know. But what we can safely say is this information has been leaked. After all, how is it that the newspaper knows that this occurred? It wouldn't be the case, would it, that a journalist just happened to be stood covering Harry's visit and then noticed that a woman was body blocked by an employee of Prince Harry and then happened to know, oh, I notice who that is. That's Letitia Wanky Trousers. Yes, she's on the list of fixated people. Oh, she's the stalker, and Harry's team have intercepted her. The journalists wouldn't see that or know that. They've been fed the information, and there's only one place that's going to come from, the Sussex camp. So whilst one might laugh about the fact that it could have been this one's wife being in the UK stalking Harry, on a serious note, it demonstrates once again the fixation that Harry and this one's wife have in trying to ensure that the world knows that there are supposed security threats. This naturally comes somewhat undone as a consequence of the fact that they regularly publicise where they are going, that this one's wife wounds down the window when she's inside her security vehicle, that Harry wanders around London ringing on random doorbells, and that this one's wife provides information about where she's staying, for instance, on her Paris trip. All necessary, of course, for the purposes of ensuring the world knows that she is here to enable her to pursue the prime aims. And we have here a newspaper article telling us that a stalker got within feet of Prince Harry on his visit to Britain. And the fact is, this information has evidently been leaked by the Sussex camp as part of the orchestrated campaign to, one, try and improve the situation with regard to payment for their security arrangements, because this is a residual benefit, and secondly, to perhaps try and engender some degree of sympathy to say the threat is real. We don't know whether it was a manufactured threat or not, and let's for once give the benefit of the doubt and state that it's not. After all, it's not too great a stretch of the thought process to believe that there are such fixated individuals, clearly mentally unwell, particularly if you're fixated on Prince Harry. But the fact that this information enters the public domain demonstrates once again that the Sussexes are ensuring that we know that this incident occurred, and it's demonstrative of the necessity of their dissemination of this information for the purposes of gaining the residual benefit of security and possibly the fuel that comes by way of sympathy. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.